Welcome to Stories at Night, a quiet place to slow down, curl up under a blanket, and let your imagination wander. Some stories will make you smile, some might give you chills, and others will linger like a dream long after the night ends. So dim the lights, get comfortable, and let the story take you away. Welcome to Thanksgiving Story 3, The Last Thanksgiving. Snow drifted gently over the New England village of Hollow Creek, snowflakes swirling around the windshield as Robin Wynne guided her car down the narrow main road. Holiday decorations twinkled in the frosty dusk, orange garlands still lingering from fall, pine wreaths already up for the winter, warm window lights glowing against the cold. It looked like a postcard. It felt like warning. Robin's hands tightened around the steering wheel as she passed the weathered town sign. Welcome to Hollow Creek, home of the annual Thanksgiving harvest feast. Her brother Talon had come here every Thanksgiving for 3 years, volunteering at the community center's charity dinner. He told her the town was charming, peaceful, full of the kindest people you'll ever meet. Now he was missing. Police called it concerning but inconclusive. Locals called it unexpected. Robin called it a lie. She parked outside the small inn near the center of town, the engine ticking as it cooled in the cold air. She stepped out, breath fogging instantly, and stood for a moment staring down Main Street. Shops were closing for the night. Soft lights, warm windows, friendly signs. A couple walked hand in hand past the general store. A teenager shoveled snow in front of the bakery. A golden retriever slept under a cafe awning. Everything looked safe. Everything felt wrong. Robin wrapped her cloak tighter and headed toward the Maple and Hearth Cafe, the closest source of warmth and information. Talon had texted her the night before he disappeared. His last message still burned in her mind. Talon. Robin, I've stumbled into something here. Something bad. Call me when you can. She had called. He hadn't answered. She pushed open the cafe door. A bell chimed overhead. Warmth enveloped her instantly. Cinnamon, pine, baked bread. A fireplace crackled at the far wall. Locals talked softly over mugs of cider and coffee. The atmosphere was cozy, enough to lull anyone into ease. But the moment Robin stepped in, the room quieted, not loudly, not obsessively, but enough. A woman behind the counter, mid-50s, warm brown skin, long silver braid, smiled in a way that looked genuine but didn't quite reach her eyes. Welcome, dear. Cold out there, isn't it? She said. What can I get you? Robin approached the counter, brushing snow from his shoulders. Hot coffee, please, and I'm looking for someone. Oh, the woman grabbed a mug, filling it. Visiting friend for the feast? Robin hesitated. You can say that. My brother, Talon Wynne, was here last week. The woman froze for a fraction of a second. It was small, but Robin caught it. The woman set the mug down gently. Talon. Yes, I remember him. Robin leaned in, voice low. Then maybe you can help me. He's missing? The cafe fell completely silent. A young couple glanced over. A man near the window set down his newspaper. Even the barista paused mid-pour. The woman lowered her voice. Miss Wynne, this isn't a conversation to have here. Robin's heartbeat quickened. Why not? The woman glanced around the room. People in Hollow Creek prefer not to discuss certain matters with strangers. I'm not a stranger, Robin whispered harshly. I'm his sister. The woman sighed, quiet, tired, sad. I know. Talon said you were sharp, stubborn. She placed a piece of paper toward Robin. Meet me at the community center. 6 o'clock, sharp. Robin looked down. 6 p.m. Behind the kitchen. Come alone. She lifted her gaze. Are you saying you know what happened? The woman's expression darkened, something fearful slipping through. I'm saying, her voice dropped to a whisper, be careful who you trust here. She turned away, busying herself with the expression machine. Robin took her coffee and sat by the window, her nerves buzzing. A few locals glanced her way, some sympathetic, some suspicious, some unreadable. Two teenagers whispered, That's his sister. Robin pretended not to hear. She finished her coffee, gathered her courage, and stepped back out into the world. The community center stood at the edge of Pine Street, a converted church with wide windows and the warm glow spilling from inside. Volunteers bustled in and out, carrying containers, boxes, and decorations for the feast. Inside, the atmosphere was cheerful, borderline festive. Tables were being arranged with autumn colors, stacks of canned goods lined one corner, and the air was full of spices. Rosemary, thyme, pepper. A woman with curly auburn hair in a pumpkin-colored sweater hurried up to Robin. Oh, hi there, she said brightly. New volunteer? We always love help this time of year. Robin forced a polite smile. Actually, I'm looking for... Wonderful, the woman interrupted, thrusting a name badge at her. We can use more hands this year. Busy, busy. Robin blinked. I'm not here to volunteer. The woman's smile faltered just slightly before snapping back into place. Oh, of course. Then how can I help you? I'm Robin Wynn. She waited. The woman's expression shifted. Oh. The air around them cooled. Volunteers nearby swallowed the load their movements. Robin continued, her voice steady. I was told to meet someone here at 6. The woman murmured. Well then, she stepped aside. A tall man with sandy hair and a clipboard approached, smiling too eagerly, his posture too stiff. Miss Wynn, welcome! Robin's spine prickled. You are... Elias Brooks, he said smoothly. I coordinate the hall feast, and well, I was one of the last to see your brother. Robin's pulse hammered. Then I want to talk, now. He hesitated. This isn't the best time. Make time! Robin snapped. The volunteers paused again, exchanging looks. Elias leaned closer, lowering his voice. Robin, I know you're worried, but digging too deeply will only stir trouble. Trouble for whom? Robin demanded. Everyone, he said simply. Robin stared coldly. Tell me the truth. Before he could respond, one of the kitchen doors swung open. The silver-braided cafe woman stood there. Robin, she called softly. Come with me. Elias stiffened. Margaret? It's fine, Elias, she said without looking at him. She deserves answers. Robin followed Margaret through the kitchen as murmurs rippled across the hall. Margaret led her down a short hallway and into a storage room. She shut the door behind them. For a moment, only the hum of the fridge filled the air. Margaret turned. Her expression was no longer warm. It was painfully, honestly, sad. Talon came to me 2 nights before he vanished, she said quietly. He was frightened. Robin swallowed. Of what? Margaret hesitated. Of Hollow Creek. Robin's breath caught. Why? He'd seen something, Margaret whispered. Something he wasn't supposed to see. Robin's heart pounded. What did he see? Margaret glanced at the door, voice dropping further. He saw who the town really works for. Robin blinked. Works for? Margaret's eyes darkened. Tomorrow's harvest feast is not just charity, it's tradition. And some traditions in Hollow Creek are older than the town itself. Robin stared. Margaret, what are you talking about? But before Margaret could answer, the door rattled. Both women froze. A voice on the other side, Eli's, called out gently. Margaret? Robin? Everything all right in there? Margaret turned back to Robin with urgency blazing in her eyes. Do not trust him, she whispered. Do not trust anyone on the feast committee. Robin's pulse spiked. Why? Margaret opened her mouth, but the door flew open. Elias stood in the doorway, smiling pleasantly. Too pleasantly. Everything okay? Margaret stepped in front of Robin protectively. Yes, she said tightly. We're fine. Elias nodded, eyes sliding to Robin. We'd like to ask you to join us at the feast tomorrow. We'll talk more after. Robin stiffened. I'm not waiting until tomorrow. Elias shrugged lightly. Suit yourself? But you'll find that Hollow Creek has rhythms. Things happen on their own schedule. Robin stepped forward. My brother is missing, and all you're pretending nothing happened. Elias' smile didn't falter, but his eyes grew colder. No one's pretending, Robin. We simply understand our town better than outsiders do. Margaret shot him a warning glare. That's enough. He stepped back into the hallway. Enjoy your evening, Robin, he said pleasantly, as long as you stay out of trouble. He shut the door. Robin's chest tightened as Margaret turned back to her. Meet me later, she whispered. Away from you. Away from all of them. Where? Robin asked. Margaret hesitated, then handed her a small napkin. On it was scrawled, Old Mill, midnight. Come alone. Robin's pulse hammered. Margaret squeezed her hand. If you want the truth, that's where it starts. The old mill sat on the far edge of Hollow Creek, past the last rows of houses and down a narrow dirt path half buried in snow. Moonlight glimmered on the icy branches as Robin walked, hands deep in her pockets, every breath a cloud in the frigid air. Hollow Creek felt different at night. The warmth, the cheer, the friendly faces, gone, replaced by long shadows, too much quiet, and the sense that someone, somewhere, was watching. Robin reached the abandoned mill just before midnight. The building loomed in the darkness, old wooden planks leaning and splintered, windows broken, roof sagging under heavy snow. A faded sign hung crooked above the main door. Hollow Creek Grain Mill. Established 1892. Robin scanned the area, empty still. Her breath caught on the cold air. Margaret? She whispered. A soft rustle came from behind the mill. Robin turned sharply, heart hammering, only to see a shape moving toward her from the shadows. A woman. Margaret. You came, Margaret whispered, eyes starting around the tree line. Robin stepped closer. What happened to Talon? Please, tell me. Margaret exhaled shakily and pulled a folded envelope from her coat. Gave me this 2 nights ago, before he vanished, he said. Told me to keep it safe in case something happened. Robin's throat tightened. Why didn't you show me this to the police? Robin, Margaret's jaw tightened. The police here don't always serve justice. Robin didn't blink. Give me the envelope. Margaret hesitated, scanning the darkness again before handing it over. Robin opened it carefully. Inside were 3 items. 1. A small hand-drawn map of part of the town. 2. A page torn from an old book. 3. A note in Talon's handwriting. Robin unfolded the first note. Rob, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it back in time. I found something here in the Hollow Creek, something bad. The people running the feast, they're not who they pretend to be. Not what they pretend to be. It's older than the town, older than anything. Follow the map, and don't tell anyone. Talon. Robin's heartbeat thudded painfully. Margaret whispered, He told me you'd know what to do with it. Robin opened the torn book page next. It looked ancient, yellowed, water damaged. At the top was the title, The Hollow Binding, a Harvest Ritual. Robin blinked. Harvest Ritual? She read quickly. Every season demands a sacrifice. The binding begins with the founders. Each year, one life given to protect the land and its people. The harvest feast marks the offering. The chosen may be willing or not. Robin's breath froze in her chest. Margaret? She whispered. What is this? Margaret stepped back, fear etched into her face. It's real. That's all you need to know. This is insane, Robin said. You expect me to believe Hull Creek is... A sound cut her off. A twig snapped. Both women froze. Another step. Slow. Deliberate. Someone else was here. Margaret grabbed Robin's arm. We need to go. Now! But it was too late. From behind the trees, a figure emerged. Tall, broad-shouldered, hood pulled over their head. They stepped into the moonlight. Elias Brooks. Clipboard man from the community center. Robin's stomach dropped. Eli smiled softly. You shouldn't be out here, Robin. Margaret stepped in front of her. Elias, leave her alone. Oh, Margaret. Eli sighed. Why did you involve yourself? His tone was gentle, like scolding a child. You know how this works. Margaret clenched her fist. Not anymore. Eli stepped closer. Robin saw something glit in his hand. A flashlight. Not a weapon, but the way he held it was frightening. Robin backed up slowly. Why are you here? I told you earlier, Eli said calmly. People who cause trouble when they ask too many questions. Robin's breath shook. My brother is missing. Eli nodded. Yes, and that was unfortunate. Robin's stomach twisted. What does that mean? Eli looked down, almost forgetful. Almost. It means Talon Wynn wasn't supposed to see what he saw. The words hit Robin like ice water. Margaret gasped. Eli, you didn't. We did what we had to do, Eli said quietly. The feast has rules. The town survives because we follow them. Robin's pulse pounded painfully in her ears. What did you do to him? Before Eli could answer, Margaret grabbed Robin's hand. Run! They bolted. Snow sprayed beneath their boots as they sprinted across the trees. Robin didn't look back. She didn't dare. But she heard Eli's voice echo behind them. You can't run from Hollow Creek. The woods swallowed them quickly. Branches whipped at Robin's arms and legs. Her breath burned in her lungs. Margaret kept place beside her surprisingly well for her age. When they reached a clearing, Margaret dragged Robin behind a fallen log, crouching low. Their breaths came in ragged gasps. Robin whispered, "What did he mean? What rules? What does the face have to do with?" Margaret shook her head violently. "No time. We need to get you out of town." Robin's chest tightened. "Not without Talon." Margaret closed her eyes. "Robin, Talon is gone." Margaret's throat constricted. "I'm not leaving until I know exactly what happened." Margaret looked at her with deep sorrow. "Then you need to understand the feast." A chill ran through Robin. "The harvest feast?" she whispered. Margaret nodded slowly. "It isn't a charity event. It never was." Robin clenched her fist. "Then what is it?" Margaret looked into the forest. "An offering?" Robin shook her head. "To who?" Margaret's voice dropped to a tremor. "Not who." A breath. "To what?" Robin felt her blood turn to ice. Margaret grabbed her shoulders. "Listen carefully. Hollow Creek was founded on land that had already been claimed. There was something here long before the first settlers arrived. It demanded something every autumn." Robin cut her off. "Stop! I don't want folklore. I want the truth." "This is the truth," Margaret whispered fiercely. "Every year, Hollow Creek gives something. In return, the town prospers. No bad harvest, no sickness, no storms. We are protected." Robin's stomach twisted. Protected by a ritual sacrifice. Margaret squeezed her eyes shut. "One life, every Thanksgiving." Robin stared at her. It felt impossible, ridiculous, nightmarish, but the look in Margaret's eyes was real. "Last year," Margaret whispered, "a drifter. Year before that, someone passing through town. But this year," she swallowed, "Talon wasn't supposed to be chosen. They picked someone else. But he saw, and he tried to help." Robin went cold. Too cold. "Margaret," she whispered, "is my brother." A branch snapped behind them. They turned. Helios stepped into the clearing. This time, he wasn't alone. 3 volunteers flanked him. Orange sweater woman, a teenage boy from the cafe, and another man Robin didn't know. All smiling, but not kindly. "Robin," Elias said softly, "you should have gone home." Robin stood slowly. "Tell me what you did to Talon." Elias' expression didn't change. "You'll find out soon." Margaret stepped in front of Robin again. "You're not taking her." "Margaret," Elias said, almost mournfully, "you know she can't leave. Not now." Margaret's voice shook. "She's not part of this. She never was." Elias sighed. "Everyone who knows the truth becomes part of it." 2 volunteers stepped forward. Robin grabbed Margaret's hand. Tight. "Run," Margaret whispered to her. "Please." "But—" "Run!" Robin bolted. Footsteps thudded behind her. Branches tore at her coat. Her lungs burned, but she didn't stop. Not until she saw lights through the trees. The edge of town. She stumbled out of the forest, landing hard on the snowy road. Pain shot up her knee, but she pushed herself upright, heart pounding like a drum. Behind her, the forest loomed silent. The silence felt wrong, like something was waiting. Robin staggered back toward the inn, breath ragged. She collapsed against the wall under the porch light, trying to steady her breathing. Her phone buzzed suddenly. Robin flinched, fumbling it from her pocket. Unknown number. Text message. Do not go inside. They're waiting for you. Robin's pulse spiked. He typed back with trembling fingers. Who is this? A moment passed. Then, someone who can help. Go to the bridge. Alone. Hurry. Robin stared at the message, chest tightening. Hollow Creek wasn't just hostile, it was hunting her. And whoever just texted her was her only lifeline. Robin hurried down the snow packed road toward the bridge, checking over her shoulder every few minutes, seconds. Hollow Creek was dead silent. Windows glowed warmly in houses she knew were full of people who wanted her gone. People who smiled too gently, too wildly, too knowingly. Every instinct screamed at her to get out of town, but she couldn't. Not without the truth, not without Talon. The icy wind whipped at her coat as she reached the old stone bridge at the north edge of the Hollow Creek. Snow drifted across the road, muffling her footsteps. The creek below gurgled softly beneath a sheet of ice. Empty, or it looked empty. Robin stood under the lantern pole at the center, breath fogging, nerves frayed. Hello? She called softly. Is anyone here? Silence pressed in around her. Then, you came. A figure stepped out from beneath the bridge's stone archway. Robin startled back, heart slamming, but the person didn't approach. They kept their hands visible, non-threatening. A young woman, mid-twenties, pale from the cold, wearing a worn gray coat and a knitted hat pulled low. Robin steadied her breath. Who are you? The woman hesitated, scanning the dark tree line before answering. My name is Willa Archer. Her voice was small but steady. I'm, or I was, one of the feast committee volunteers. Robin took in the trembling hands, the fear in Willa's eyes. She wasn't here to hurt her. Robin stepped closer. Why did you text me? Willa swallowed hard. Because if you got into the inn, they would have taken you, just like they took your brother. The air left Robin's lungs. So it's true. They did something to Talon. Willa's eyes filled with regret. They're planning to do something to you, too. Robin fought to keep her voice level. Tell me everything. Willa hesitated, but only briefly, and let's move. Talking here is too dangerous. Robin followed Willa as she ducked under the bridge into a narrow clove shielded from the road. The river's icy breath seeped up the cracks, chilling their ankles. Willa kept her voice low. Feast committee saw your brother as a threat. He stumbled onto something he shouldn't have. Robin clenched her fist. What was that? Willa shook her head. First you need to understand what Hollow Creek really is. Robin narrowed her eyes. I know about the ritual, the binding, the offering. Willa pulled in a shaky breath. Then you know everything except why. Robin stiffened. Then tell me why. Willa looked up through the moonlit opening of the bridge. Her voice trembled. Because Hollow Creek shouldn't exist. Robin blinked. What? This land? It was never meant to hold a town. The founders settled here anyway. They ignored the warnings, the symbols carved into the cedars, the old stories from the previous tribes, the hunters who refused to cross the creek. It sounds like folklore. It's not, Willow whispered fiercely. Ask any family who's been here for generations. Hollow Creek has always been protected by something. Something that demands a price. Robin shook her head. Superstition. Then why hasn't Hollow Creek suffered a famine in over 150 years? Well, I countered. Why did we survive the fire of 58 when every surrounding town lost entire districts? Why did the storm last winter flatten 3 neighboring towns, but not us? Robin opened her mouth, then shut it. Willa continued, her voice trembling. It's not coincidence. It's the binding, the ritual, the feast. Robin's stomach twisted. The harvest feast is a sacrifice, isn't it? For whatever lives here? Willa nodded. Again. One life, every Thanksgiving, chosen by the committee. Robin's pulse spiked. And this year, they choose someone else until Talon found out? Willa swallowed hard again. He wasn't supposed to see. He wasn't supposed to help. Robin stepped forward, voice cracking. What did he see, Willa? Willa closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, they shined with horror. He saw the cellar. Robin's chest tightened. What cellar? The old cellar beneath the original church, Willa whispered. One built before the community center. It's not used for storage. It's... She looked away. Where the chosen offering is kept before the feast. Robin's breath hitched painfully. Is that where Talon was taken? Willa's face crumpled. Yes. Robin's legs gave out. She leaned against the cold stone wall. Did he die there? Willa shook her head quickly. I don't know. I swear. I only know he was alive when they dragged him inside. Margaret tried to help him. She screamed at Hellas. She fought them. But the others, they didn't listen. Robin closed her eyes, fighting the tears, forcing down the shaking in her hands. She needed to stay focused. She needed to think. Why didn't they take the original chosen person? Robin asked, her voice brittle. Willa hesitated. The chosen one, a traveler, she fled into the woods. We think she reached another town, but Hollow Creek still owed the offering. When your brother found out, Willa's voice broke. He tried to help her. They punished him for interfering. Robin's heart plummeted. Punished? Willa's face was white as bone. This town doesn't forgive disobedience. Snap echoed above them. A branch? A footstep? Both women froze. Willa grabbed Robin's wrist. We can't stay here. Ellis has people watching every corner. They know I defected. They know I'm helping you. Robin's pulse hammered. Then where? A sudden gust of wind slammed against the bridge corridor, swirling snow through the opening. Robin's heart leapt. But Willa's eyes widened with fear. That wasn't wind, she whispered. Robin stared. What do you mean? Willa didn't answer. She only said one thing. We need to go. Now. They scrambled up the low slope, back toward the road. Robin's foot slipped on the icy stones, but Willa yanked her upright with surprising strength. Halfway up, Robin asked, breathless, Where are we going? Willa pointed toward the far hills, to the old storm cellar. Robin froze. You want me to go there? Where they kept Talon? Yes, Willow said, voice breaking. Because if he's alive, that's where they would have taken him back. Robin's breath hitched. Alive? He might still be alive? Hope flared, dangerous, bright, sharp, desperate. But Willis grabbed her hand again. We have to reach it before they do, before they finish the ritual. Robin swallowed, throat tight. When is the ritual? Willa's voice was a whisper. Tomorrow, at sunset. Robin's stomach dropped, but a shout cut through the trees. There! Robin spun. Ellis and two volunteers stood at the far edge of the bridge, their lanterns raised, expressions dark and determined. Robin, Elias said calmly, you cannot run from this. Willa hissed, Move! The women sprinted across the ice-slick road, cold air burning their lungs. Ellis shouted, Stop her! Footsteps thundered after them. Robin didn't dare look back. Her boots skidded on the frost, her breath ripping from her chest. Willa pulled her along a side path, snow-covered and hidden between two houses. Here! Willa hissed, ducking behind a shed. Robin followed, pressing herself against the wood, breathing hard. Footsteps thundered past the alley, then silence. Robin pressed her trembling hands to her forehead. Willa, what are they? A cult? A what? Willa shook her head, eyes haunted. A cult implies they worship willingly. The people in Hollow Creek, they're bound. This isn't devotion, it's survival. Robin's voice trembled. From what? Willa met her gaze. The thing they feed, the thing in the woods, the thing beneath the creek. No one knows what it looks like, only that it takes. And if it doesn't get its offering, Willa's voice faltered. Robin whispered, What happens? Willa swallowed hard. The town suffers, the land suffers. People die, and not cleanly. Robin's skin crawled. So they sacrifice someone at every Thanksgiving, Robin said, to protect himself. Willa nodded shakily. Yes, that's how it's always been. Robin's eyes filled. Then Talon was taken because he tried to help someone escape? Yes. Robin clenched her jaw. Then we're ending it. We're getting him out. Willa grabbed her shoulders. Robin, be careful. If this thing is truly hungry, the town will be desperate. They'll do anything to finish the ritual. Robin wiped a shaking hand across her head. I don't care. I'm not losing him. Willa exhaled shakily. Then we go to the cellar. But we can't go now. Ellis people will be searching everywhere. We need to hide until dawn. Robin's mind raced. Where? Willa pointed across the snow-covered lane at an old, boarded-up craftsman's house. My grandma's house, Willa whispered. It's abandoned. No one from town will check it. Robin stared. Why not? Willa hesitated. Because she was the last one to try to stop the feast, and she died for it. Robin felt her blood run cold, but she nodded. Then we hide there. Willa led her across the road, quickly and quietly. Every shadow felt like a threat, every wind gust like a breath, every rustle like a footstep. They slipped inside the abandoned house, shutting the warped wooden door behind them. The air was cold, dusty, and faintly sweet with the scent of old cedar. Robin exhaled shakily. Willow lit a single candle, and in the tiny warm circle of light, Robin saw something carved into the wall. A symbol, a spiral made of jagged strokes, the same one from the torn page. Robin's pulse kicked hard. What is that? She whispered. Willow's face was pale in the candle glow. It's the marking of the offering, Willow whispered. The mark they put on chosen sacrifices. Robin stared. Her heart pounded sickly, because scratched into the wood, beneath the symbol, in unmistakable handwriting, was her brother's name. Talon Wynne. Robin's breath fractured. Her knees buckled. Will caught her before she fell. He was here, Robin whispered hoarsely. He found this place, left his name. He. Her voice broke completely. Willa held her tightly. We'll find him, I swear. Robin trembled violently, gripping the wall for balance. Her eyes locked onto the spiral symbol. It felt like it was watching her, waiting. Robin forced herself upright. Willa, she whispered, her voice trembling but determined. We go to the cellar at dawn. Willa nodded. But you need to know something first, Willa whispered. Robin swallowed. What? Willa stepped closer, candlelight flickering. Her voice was barely audible. The offering this year, the one they originally chose? Robin waited, breath held. It wasn't a traveler, Willa whispered. It wasn't a stranger. She hesitated. It was you. Robin's world stopped. What? They chose you first, Willa whispered, eyes filling. Your brother found the list. He tried to warn you. That's why he interfered. That's why they took him instead. Robin's vision blurred. Felt sick, dizzy, cold down to her bones. Chosen? She had been chosen? Talon died? Or worse, because he tried to save her? Robin pressed a fist to her mouth. Willa steadied her gently. We'll win this, Willa whispered. We'll save him. But Hollow Creek won't let you go without a fight. Robin wiped her eyes, jaw set. Then it's going to be one hell of a fight. The candle flickered, hard, as if blown by a breath from inside the house. Robin and Willa froze, because neither of them had moved. Something else was here, watching, waiting, hungry. Dawn broke pale and thin over Hollow Creek, bathing the abandoned house in a cold light that made the shadows look deeper, as if they'd grown during the night. Robin hadn't slept. She doubted Willa had either. The hours crawled by, both women sitting side by side on the floor with their backs against the wall, listening to every gust of wind, every settling creak, every whisper of movement. When the sun finally rose, Willa blew out a candle. We should move, she whispered. The feast is at sunset. They'll be preparing all day. Robin stood slowly. Her muscles ached from the hours of tension. How far is the cellar? Willa pointed toward the small forest behind the community center. It's under the original church foundation. They built the community center on top of it. The cellar's still accessible from the backwoods. Robin grabbed her coat, an envelope of Talon's belongings. She kept Talon's note in her pocket, creased now, but worn before held over and over. She pressed her fingers over the words again. I found something bad here, Rob. If something happens, find this cellar. Robin's throat tightened. She would find it. She would find him. Willa cracked the front door open. It's clear for now. They stepped out into the biting cold morning, breath puffed in sharp clouds. The snow from last night glittered in the sunlight like powdered diamonds. Hollow Creek looked peaceful again. A lie. They kept to the side roads and tree lines, avoiding the busier streets. Once or twice, Robin spotted volunteers headed toward the community center carrying boxes, bags of produce, or trays of food. Their faces were calm, cheerful, content. Sacrifice or not, Hollow Creek believed in its own righteousness. That's how they sleep at night, Willa whispered as they crouched behind a row of hedges. They think the feast protects everyone. They think losing one life is worth saving 1900. Reuben's, Robin's jaw clenched. No life is worth sacrificing. Willa nodded with a haunted expression. They slid deeper into the woods behind the community center. Through the branches, the center loomed, white clapboard sidings, tall windows, and a cheery banner advertising Thanksgiving Harvest Feast. Doors open at 4 p.m. Robin swallowed hard. Why sunset? She whispered. Will exhaled slowly. Because the ritual, the offering, has to be made when the land shifts. Robin frowned. The land shifts? It's when the world is closest to. Will shuddered. To it. Robin didn't ask what it meant. She had a feeling she would see for herself soon enough. The trees thinned as they reached a shallow dip in the forest floor. A half collapsed stone foundation jutted from the ground, covered in thick vines and snow. This is it, Willow whispered. Robin stepped closer. She brushed frost from an engraved stone. The letters beneath it were faded but visible. Hollow Creek, First Congregation, founded 1864. Robin followed, frowned. This was the original church? Willa nodded grimly. Before something happened here. Before people stopped praying and started bargaining. Robin knelt and brushed more snow aside. A rusted ring handle protruded from a wooden hatch, nearly camouflaged by moss. This leads to the cellar, Willa whispered. No one goes down there anymore, except the committee. Robin grabbed the handle. Willa touched her shoulder. Be careful. We don't know what they left down there. Robin nodded. She pulled. The hatch groaned stiff, resisting, but then snapped open with a crack that echoed through the cold forest. A dark, yawning hole gaped beneath them. A set of steep wooden stairs led down into shadow. A sick, earthly smell drifted upward, damp, old, metallic. Robin's stomach flipped. Willis swallowed hard. I'll go first. Robin grabbed her sleeve. No. If anyone sees you're missing, they'll look for me, Willa whispered. I know, her voice cracked, but we don't have time for fear. Not anymore. Robin hesitated. Willa squeezed her hand. Stay close, Robin exhaled shakily. Always. They descended into darkness. The cellar was cooler than outside. The air was thick and stale, the stone walls damp with moisture that glistened faintly in their dim flashlight beam. Robin's breath echoed too loudly as they walked. Willa kept her light low. This way. Cobwebs hung like curtains. Broken pews were stacked against one wall. A cracked basin, once holy water, sat overturned. Symbols were to every beam, every stone, every surface. Robin froze. That's the spiral. The mark from the abandoned house. Willa nodded. It's everywhere down here. Part of the ritual. Robin touched one carving gently. Her breath, it felt warm. Her breath caught. Willa, she whispered. It's simple. It's alive. Willa pulled her hand away quickly. Don't touch anything down here. Robin's pulse jumped. The deeper they went, the warmer the stone carvings felt, as if radiating low heat, like breath. Robin blinked. Why is it warmer the closer we get? Will's voice was tight. Because we're getting closer to its resting place. Robin's body tensed. What is it? I don't know, Will whispered. Nobody truly knows. It's not a god. It's not a spirit. It's older than either. Robin's mind spun. A door appeared at the far end of the corridor, wooden, reinforced with iron bands. A lock hung broken on the floor. Someone's been here, Robin whispered. Willa's breath hitched. Maybe Talon broke it? Maybe he escaped? Hope flared, sharp and aching. Robin pushed the door open. The room inside was large, too large for a sailor. Its walls made of stone cut with a natural precision. Shelves lined the room, but not with books or for storage. With jars, dozens of jars, hundreds, old, cloudy glass containers filled with. Robin's breath stopped. Bones. Small bones, not animal bones. Finger bones, toe bones, teeth. This is where they store the remains, Willow whispered, her voice cracked with horror. Every offering, every year. Robin stepped back instinctually. No, no, this can't. Willa stared and studied her. The remains feed the creature, the grounds, the roots. Robin's stomach churned. That's monstrous! Yes, Willa said softly. It is. Robin's eyes scanned the shelves. Then she froze. A new jar, clean glass, fresh soil inside. Not old, not dusty. Placed recently. Robin held her breath. Willa's voice trembled. Robin? Don't look! Robin stepped forward, unable to stop herself. Her hands shook violently as she lifted the tag tied to the jar. Her vision blurred. Talon win. Offering attempt failed. Hold until final rites. Robin dropped to her knees. A sound tore from her. A broken, silent cry. Willa rushed to her side. Robin, no! Listen! This doesn't mean what you think. It says his rites weren't complete, she whispered. Willa, he's alive, or he was. Willa swallowed hard. If they didn't complete the offering, it means they postponed it, because they still need a substitute. Once they bring someone else. Robin lifted her tear-filled eyes. Bring me? She whispered. Because I was supposed to be the offering? Willa's face twisted in pain. Yes? Robin pressed her hand over her mouth, trying to control her shaking. Talon suffered because of her. Talon risked everything because of her. Talon was dragged down here, left alive, left in the dark, because he tried to stop them. Robin stood slowly. No more crying, no more fear. She wiped her face with her sleeve. Her voice was still. We're finding him. Now. Willa nodded, eyes bright with fierce determination. This way. They moved past the bone shelves, deeper into the chamber. Another door stood at the back, thick, iron, ancient. Robin approached, but the handle didn't budge. Locked, Will whispered. Robin crouched. There's a gap under the door. Willa lifted her flashlight, shining it under the crack. Robin's heart leapt in her throat, because underneath the door, a smear of fresh blood trailed outward, and beside it, a piece of torn fabric. Robin picked it up with trembling fingers. Talon's flannel, same shirt he'd worn the day he texted her. Robin's breath hitched, becoming a sob. It was right here, Willa nodded. And they moved him. Where? Robin whispered. Willa took a shaky breath. The next stage of the ritual. They'll prepare him for the final offering tonight. Sunset. Robin felt ice crawl up her spine. Where? Willa looked sick. The creek. Robin staggered back. Why the creek? Because the ground there is thin, Willa whispered. Thin enough for it to reach through. She paused. That's where they finished the ritual. Always. Robin gripped the stone wall to stay upright. Then we have to get there first. Willa shook her head in despair. They'll guard it. I don't care, Robin whispered harshly. We're going. Before Willa could argue, a deep rumble shook the cellar. The walls trembled, dust drifting from the ceiling. Robin stepped back. What was that? Willa's flashlight flickered. Another low rumble, a vibration under their feet. Not thunder, not footsteps. Something moving underground. Robin backed toward the hallway. Willa, we need to go now. Willa nodded rapidly. It's waking. Robin froze. What? The offering day? It always wakes early, Willa whispered. It senses movement, blood, fear. Robin's heart pounded violently. Willa? How close is it? Willa's voice trembled. Close enough? The stone under their feet pulsed again, like a heartbeat. Robin clutched Willa's arm. Run! They sprinted up the corridor. Echoes chased them. Rumblings, shifting stone, something massive sliding beneath the earth. Robin didn't look back. She didn't dare. They burst through the cellar door into the cold morning light, slamming the hatch shut behind them. Robin fell to her knees, gasping, hands shaking uncontrollably. Willa pressed her back against the tree, breathing hard. We have to get to the creek before they do their final preparations. Robin stood, chest heaving. We have until sunset. No, Willa said, horror in her eyes. Robin blinked. What do you mean? They moved the offering earlier this year, Willa whispered, because the creature has been restless, hungry. Robin's pulse spiked. What time? Willa swallowed. Midday? Robin's heart dropped into her stomach. She checked her phone. 10:37. Less than 2 hours. To save Talon, to stop the ritual, to end Hollow Creek's century-old curse. She closed her eyes. Jaw set. We're going now. Willa nodded. But just as they turned around, someone stepped out from the trees behind them. Robin's veins froze. It was Elias Brooks, but not smiling this time. No warmth, no charm, just cold, unwavering purpose. Ladies, he said softly, this is where the world ends. Dozens of villagers stepped out behind him, faces blank, eyes resolved, hands holding ropes, lanterns, tools. They weren't mob-like, they weren't angry, they were calm, decided. Will grabbed Robin's hand, trembling. Robin, she whispered, if they take you, your brother dies. Robin squeezed her hand. They're not taking either of us. Willis stepped forward. Robin Wynne, he said gently, you were always meant to be the offering. Robin took a single step back, shoulders squared. Then you've made the biggest mistake of your life, she whispered, shaking with fury. Because I'm not dying for this town. And I'm not letting my brother die either. The villagers closed in. Snow fell harder. Wind howled through the trees. And deep beneath the earth, something answered. A rumble, a growl, a hungry call. Willow whispered, run! Run! Willow screamed. Robin didn't think. She grabbed Willow's wrist and sprinted into the woods as the villagers surged forward in perfect, horrifying unison. Snow exploded beneath her boots. Branches whipped against her face. Her breath tore from her lungs in sharp bursts. Behind them, Elias Brooks' calm voice floated through the cold morning air. Don't hurt them. We need them alive. Robin's pulse hammered so violently it felt like her heart might burst. Willa, left! They veered sharply around a fallen pine, slipping down a small embankment. Willa stumbled. Robin caught her, pulling her upright. Their legs burned, but adrenaline shoved them forward. Branches cracked behind them, voices too close. There! Cut 'em off! Don't let them reach the creek! Robin slammed her shoulder through a low-hanging thicket. Snow cascaded around her. Her lungs burned, her footsteps gaining. Then suddenly, silence. The forest went unnaturally still. Willis skidded to a stop next to her, chest heaving. Robin, don't move. Robin froze, not from the fear of Willa's voice, but because the ground beneath her boot was warm. Warm. In snow-covered forest. Robin's breath hitched. Willa? Willa's eyes widened in terror. Get off it. Slowly. Robin lifted her foot. The patch of frost beneath it began to melt. Rattling, spreading outward. Robin stumbled back. The warmth pulsed once. Twice. A deep, slow throb. A heartbeat. Not human. Not animal. Something beneath the ground was waking. Willa grabbed her coat sleeve. Robin, we have to move! They ran. Behind them, the soft hum beneath the earth grew into a deeper groan, like ancient stones shifting. Snowline drifted off mount branches. Birds erupted into flight. The forest itself trembled. Robin choked out. What is that? Willa gasped. The creature. It senses the offering. It knows you're near. Robin's mind reeled. So it's following me? Yes! Willa cried. Run faster! A crack split through the forest floor somewhere behind them. Long, jagged, like ice breaking on a lake. Something massive shifted beneath the soil. A deep sound rose, low, gruntal, hungry. Robin's entire body shuddered. We're almost there! Willa pointed toward a break in the trees. The ridge! If we reach it, we can slide down and get to the head of them! Robin pumped her legs harder, but the ridge was uphill. Her lungs screamed. Her thighs burned. Her vision spotted. She grabbed a low branch, pulling herself up the incline, boots sliding on packed snow. Behind her, she heard villagers crashing through the undergrowth, dozens of them, feet pounding, voices chanting in eerie unity. Bring the offering! Bring the offering! Bring the offering! Robin scrambled up over the ridge's peak, and the ground vanished beneath her. Robin! Willow screamed. Robin tumbled down the snowy slope, rolling, sliding, crashing into roots and rocks. Flame flared through her ribs and shoulder. Snow filled her mouth. Her world spun. She slammed against the base of a large tree. gasping as the air was knocked from her lungs. Willa slid down after her, more controlled, using the slope to her advantage, then skidded to her knees beside her. Robin, are you okay? Robin coughed, shaking. I think so? She tried standing, pain shot through her left arm. Not broken, bruised, usable. She forced herself up, leaning on the tree. They're coming. Willa looked back up the hill. We need to move before they... Movement above, branch snapping. A dozen salutes appeared at the ridge's edge. Villagers, Ellis among them. Robin, he called gently. Please don't make this harder. Robin's voice clutched with flurry. You touch one hair on my brother, Ellis sighed. Talon interfered with something bigger than any of us. You don't understand. Then explain it! Robin snarled. Ellis tilted his head. Why would I explain the truth to the offering? Robin's stomach twisted. Willa grabbed her hand. Robin, go! They ran again, down a narrow deer path that cut deeper into the forest. Snow flew, branches tore at their clothes, and the cold burned through the lungs. Robin gasped. We need to lose them! Willa pointed. There is a hollow ahead. A hiding spot. We might get 30 seconds before they find their trail. They darted into the hollow, an opening between two fallen trees, and crouched behind the roots. Willow placed a trembling finger to her lips. Footsteps thundered by above them. Ellis's voice, she's still close, spread out. More footsteps. Dozens. Robin held her breath, praying they wouldn't hear her pounding heartbeat. After nearly a minute, Willa let out a slow shake of breath. Okay, they passed. Robin whispered. We can't run forever. Willa nodded. We won't. We just need to reach the creek first. Robin's pulse spiked. Is that really where they're taking him? Willa nodded. To prepare the offering, the creature feeds beneath it. It's always been the final location. Robin clenched her fists. Then we're stopping it. We will, Willa whispered. But, Robin, you need to see something first. Robin frowned. What? Willa's face twisted with pain. She withdrew something from her coat pocket. A photograph. Robin's heart lurched. Talon, smiling, taken in the community center, his arm around a girl Robin didn't recognize. Robin blinked tears away. Why do you have this? Willa swallowed. Because he gave it to me. Robin froze. Willa's voice trembled. Robin, your brother didn't just stumble into the truth. She hesitated. He was looking for it. Robin stared at her. Willa, what are you saying? Willa wiped her eyes. I'm saying Talon joined the Feast Committee last year. He wanted to understand how Hollow Creek worked. He wanted to help. He wanted to change things. Robin felt the world tilt. My brother knew? She whispered. He knew about the offering? Willa nodded. He wanted to stop it, but didn't know how deep it went, how hungry the creature had become. He thought if he could convince the community, if he could expose them... Robin stepped back. Why didn't he tell me? Willa looked pained. Because he didn't want you pulled in. But once they chose you for this year's offering... Robin stiffened. He tried to protect me. Yes. Robin swallowed a sob. That's why he disappeared, Willa whispered. Because he broke the rules. Because he was caught. Robin's chest ached. And I'm going to save him, whatever it takes. Willa nodded fierce. Then we move now. They emerged from the hollow and sprinted toward the sound of running water. The forest thinned as the creek came into view. Wide, shallow, its banks lined with moss-covered stones. Small bridge crossed the water. Beside it, an old wooden platform. Ropes, lanterns. Robin's breath caught. Bewitchful sight, she whispered. But it looked empty. Too empty. Where is he? Robin asked, panic rising. Willow scanned the area. Maybe they haven't brought him yet? Maybe we're early? Robin's stomach twisted. The sunlight glinted off something on the far bank. Robin rushed to it. A torn strip of flannel. Talon's shirt. Robin's hand trembled violently. Willa? Willa hurried to her side, eyes widening. This is fresh, Robin whispered. He was just here. A voice spoke from behind them. He still is. Robin spun. Ellis Brooks stood on the opposite bank, calm, collected, expression unreadable. Villagers converged behind him, 20, 30, maybe more, silent, unified, forming a half circle among the water's edge. Willa grabbed Robin's arm, trembling. Robin, run! Robin didn't run. Elias stepped closer. Robin, please, let us do what must be done. Robin glared. You think I'll sacrifice myself to save your cursed town? Never! Ella's jaw tightened. This is bigger than us. Bigger than Hollow Creek. We must keep the balance. We must feed it. Robin shook with rage. Then feed it yourself! Ellis sighed. You misunderstand. The creature will only accept those marked by its choosing. And you, Robin, were chosen the moment you entered Hollow Creek last year. Robin felt the blood drain from her face. What? You set foot on that land. It tasted you. It marked you. Elle's voice was quiet. This is not punishment. This is destiny. Willis stepped in front of Robin protectively. No! She belongs to no one. Ellis looked at Willow with pity. She should not have betrayed us. The ground trembled under their feet. A deep vibration rippling up through the soil. No, Willow whispered, his eyes widening. It's early. It's waking early. Robin staggered as the path pulsed. The villagers murmured in eerie unison. The offering must be given. It awaits. It hungers. A crack split along the creek bed. Thin at first, then widening. Cold water sloshed violently. The air thickened. Robin's heart pounded in terror. The creature beneath the creek was rising. Elias shouted, Bring her! Villagers surged forward. Willa shoved Robin hard. Run! Robin sprinted along the creek bank as villagers charged towards her. But then, something massive shifted beneath the water. A shape, a shadow, long, coiling beneath the ice. The creek bulged upward, cracked, exploded. Robin was thrown backward by the force of it, snow and water spraying into the air. She crashed hard against the frozen ground, ears ringing. When she lifted her head, her blood turned to ice. A dark form rose from the broken creek bed, huge, shapeless, like a mass of roots and shadow of hunger. Every villager dropped to their knees. Willa grabbed Robin's hand, voice breaking. We're too late. But Robin pushed onto her feet, fury burning through her fear. No, she whispered. We still have time. I'm not letting that thing take my brother. Willa stared at her. Robin's voice sharpened into still. We're ending this. Today. Behind them, the creature screamed. The creature erupted from the fractured creek bed with a roar that wasn't sound so much as pressure. A violent wave of force that rattled Robin's bones and made her vision blur. Snow blasted outward in a ring, the air rippled with heat. The world itself seemed to bend. Robin staggered, one hand gripping Willa's coat. The thing was enormous, yet not fully visible. It appeared and disappeared in flickers, like trying to look directly at something your brain wasn't built to process. Massive writhing roots, a skeletal shifting salute, limbs that weren't limbs, eyes that didn't blink, dozens of them, opening along its shape like lanterns, a thick spine arching from the water, covered in moss and dripping black ichor. Willa whispered, "It's starving. It knows the offering is here." Robin's pulse hammered like fire in her veins. "It won't have me." The ground trembled. Villagers knelt, whispering in sync. "We offer, we bind, we survive." Elias stepped forward, arms raised, not afraid at all. If anything, reverent. "Robin," he called, voice calm. "Please, end this quickly. Do not make the town suffer." Robin's voice cracked. "I will never be a part of this." Elias tilted his head. "You already are." Before she could respond, a sound cut through the chaos. A cry, hoarse, weak, coming from the far bank. Robin's heart slammed. "Talon?" She sprinted across the snow, dodging falling branches and surging roots. A massive tendril slammed into the ground beside her, sending up a spray of ice. Robin stumbled but kept moving. Willa chased behind her. "Robin, be careful!" Robin didn't slow. She reached the edge of the fractured creek. Her breath stopped. There, tangled in ropes, half submerged, clothes soaked and torn, lay her brother, Talon. Alive, barely. His lips were blue, his face was pale, cuts marked his arms, his cheek. He lifted his head weakly. "Robin?" His voice cracked like glass. "You came?" Robin's knees hit the ground. "Of course I came! Oh my god, Talon!" She grabbed his face, brushing his wet hair back, sobbing in relief. Willa skated to a stop behind them, eyes wide. "He's still breathing, thank God." Talon shook his head weakly. "Shouldn't be here. They they want—" A roar cut him off. The creature's shadows loomed over them, roots lashing inches from their bodies. Willa grabbed Robin's shoulder. "We have to get him out. Now!" Robin fumbled with the knots, fingers shaking violently. The ropes were tight, too tight, and the water was freezing. Talon winced, coughing. "Robin, run!" he rasped. "Please. Those people, they won't stop. They'll do anything." "I'm not leaving you," Robin said fiercely. A root slammed into the ground beside them, spraying icy water everywhere. Willa screamed, dragging Robin and Talon back an inch. "It's trying to take him!" The creature roared again, a sound like trees splitting and wind howling through hollow bones. The villagers shouted louder, rising to their feet. "Take the offering, bind us, keep us safe." Elias stepped closer, his voice soft but firm. "Robin, if you resist, Hollow Creek will pay the price. The winter will destroy us. Children will die. The line will starve." Robin's eyes blazed. "That's not my problem." Elias shook his head slowly. "It will be. The creature doesn't just take one life when it's denied. It takes dozens. Dozens." Robin froze. Willow whispered, "He's right, Robin. If we wake the ritual, the creature could lash out." Robin looked at Talon, shivering, pale, barely conscious. "I don't care," she whispered. "I won't let them feed him to that thing." Ellis sighed. "Then you leave us no choice." He signaled. Villagers surged towards. Willa grabbed Robin's arm. "One, run with him, now!" Robin hauled Talon upright, slinging his arm over her shoulder. Her legs almost buckled under his weight. He'd grown lighter, frailer, but adrenaline shoved her onward. They staggered towards the forest. Villagers shouted, Stop them! The offering must be completed. Bring her back! Roots tore out the ground in pursuit, snaking through snow, whipping towards Robin's ankles. She kicked one way, nearly falling. Talon gasped. Rob! Rob! It's calling! Can't run! Robin shook him. Yes, you can! I'm right here! A tendril slammed down in front of them, blocking the path. Robin skidded, nearly sliding into it. Root pulsed, alive, growing faintly with sickly green light. The creature was following them. It didn't need to chase. It could sense Robin's fear, her heartbeat, her breath. Willa! Robin cried. What do we do? Willa looked terrified and determined. There's one way to stop it, but you're not going to like it. Robin didn't hesitate. Tell me. Willa pointed towards the moss-covered ridge above the creek. The heart of Hollow Creek's founding. The first ritual site. If we break the binding symbol carved there, destroy it fully, the creature loses its hold. Robin tightened her grip on Talon. Then we're doing it. Willa shook her head. It's guarded. Robin looked back. Ellis was approaching with a lantern, expression calm and chilling. It's okay, he called. Let me help. This doesn't have to be violent. Robin snarled. Stay away from us! He sighed evenly, then raised his hand. Villagers advanced. Robin grabbed Willa's wrist. Run! They sprinted up the ridge, talons supported between them. Snow sprayed beneath their boots. Roots exploded from the ground behind them. The creature screamed so loud the trees shook. Robin stumbled, falling to her knees. A huge trundle cracked the earth beside her, so close it scraped her cheek. Willa pulled her up. Move! They reached the ridge's summit, and Robin froze. A giant stone slab jutted from the earth, etched with the spiral symbol, deep and large, sprawling across the surface like a living wound. The original bonding mark. It thrummed with heat. Energy radiated from it, waved the pressure that made Robin's ears ring. Talon whimpered, collapsing. Robin dragged him behind a rock. Ella's voice rang across the trees. It's over, Robin. Step away from the stone. Villagers closed in behind him, forming a semicircle at the ridge's base. Willa whispered, If I break it, if I destroy the mark, Robin, the creature will lash out once. Hard. But then it should fade. Robin stared at the stone. It pulsed again. The air tore open. The creature rose behind them, massive, withering, its limbs spanning the ridge. Robin screamed, Willa, now! Willa darted to the stone, lifting the heavy rock she brought from the creek bank. She raised it to smash the spiral. A root ripped upward, wrapping around her waist. No! Robin lunged, but another tendril slapped the ground between them, hurling her back. Willa cried out as she was lifted off her feet, crushed by this root. Robin! Go! She choked it. Save Talon! Break the mark! Robin scrambled toward the stone, but Elias intercepted, stepping between her and the slab. Robin, he said, voice calm despite the chaos. If you break that, everyone in this town dies. Robin's breath shook. I don't care! He stepped closer, including you, including Talon. Robin hesitated. The monster roared. Willa screamed. Talon gasped in pain. Ellis lowered his voice. Let the ritual finish. Let the offering be made. Let the town survive. A pause. You don't have to die, Robin. You can still choose someone else. Robin froze. Someone else? Her blood ran cold. Who? Elias glanced at Willa. dangling in the creature's root. Well, Robin's stomach dropped. No. Eli's eyes softened. One life for many. Isn't that what your brother wanted? Robin's scream tore out of her throat. He wanted to stop this, not feed it! She shoved Elis with all her strength. He slipped backward onto the slick ridge, arms flailing. He caught a branch, dangling over the drop. Robin. Yes, please, help. Robin stared at him. Below him the creature surged upward, massive mouth splitting open, jagged, root-filled, glowing. Villagers screamed. Robin's pulse slammed. She stepped toward Elis, not to save him, but to look him in the eyes. You tried to kill my brother, she whispered. You tortured him. You hunted me. You sacrificed people for decades. Robin, please. You deserve what's coming. She pried his fingers from the branch. Eli's fell straight into the creature's maw. The monster snapped around him in a horrid crunch. Villagers swelled. The creature groaned, shuddered, thrummed. It wasn't satisfied. Robin spun toward Willa. Willa, fight it! Willa clawed at the root, choking her. Robin! The mark! Robin sprinted to the stone slab. Villagers ran at her from all sides. She lifted Willa's fallen rock, raised it, screamed, and slammed it into the spiral. Cracks shot through the mark. The stone convulsed. Wind ripped through the clearing. The creature shrieked. A horrible, skin-crawling, mind-breaking sound. The ground heaved. Trees bent. Snow blasted into the air. The binding was breaking. The creature slammed into the ridge, roots flailing wildly. Robin dove onto Talon, shelling him with her body. Robin! Willa screamed as the root swung toward her. Robin watched in horror. The root flung Willa across the ridge. She hit the ground hard, but rose to her feet. Again! She shouted. Robin grabbed the rock, slammed it again. The spiral fractured, half shattered. The creature roared, vomiting black triangles into the air. Villagers dropped to their knees, clutching their heads. Stop! One shrieked. You'll kill us all! Robin raised the rock for the final blow. This ends now! She brought it down. The spiral shattered completely. The ridge cracked open. The ground dissolved under the creature's weight, its form convulsing, twisting, unraveling like melted wax. The creature screamed, then imploded, collapsing into the creek bed in a shuddering shockwave of mud, roots, and black mist. Silence. Then a gust of cold wind swept across the ridge. Snowflakes drifted down gently, and the creature was gone. Forever. Willa collapsed to her knees, sobbing with relief. Robin dropped the rock, breath shaking violently. She turned to Talon, her brother, alive, looked up at her through wet lashes, voice cracking. Rob, you did it. Robin sank to the ground beside him, pulling him into her arms, crying into his hair. It's over, she whispered. It's over. Talon sobbed into his shoulder. I thought I'd never see you again. You're safe now, Robin whispered fiercely. I won't let anyone hurt you again. Ever. Below them, villagers huddled, confused, terrified, disoriented, as the last echoes of the curse faded. Willa limped toward them, exhausted, but alive. Robin, you broke it. After so many years, it's finally gone. Robin looked up through her tears. We broke it. Together. Willa smiled weakly. Hollow Creek is free. Robin breathed out, trembling with overwhelming relief. Then, a distant cry echoed from the town. A scream. Robin stiffened. Willa held. Robin? Something's wrong. Robin rose slowly, heart hammering. The creature was gone, but Hollow Creek was not safe. Something else was happening. Something the villagers had kept hidden even from Willa, and it was awakening now that the binding was broken. Robin grabbed Talon's coat. Come on, she whispered. We're not done yet. The scream sliced through the forest air, sharp, distant, unmistakably human. Robin froze mid-step. Talon leaned heavily against her, still weak. Willa limped just beside him, bruised and trembling. All three stared toward the town where the rooftops peaked above the snowy tree line. Another scream, then shouting. Something was happening in Hollow Creek. Something in the villagers hadn't expected. Robin tightened her grip on Talon. We need to get you safe. Talon shook his head, voice barely above a whisper. No. No place is safe right now. Rob, whatever's happening, it's because of the ritual breaking. Willis swallowed hard. He's right. The creature was the center of the binding, but the binding might have held back more than just hunger. Robin stiffened. What does that mean? Willa wrapped her arms around herself, trembling as much from fear as cold. Old records say the binding didn't just keep the creature fed, it kept the town stable, the land stable. Robin frowned. Stable? How? Willa nodded toward Hollow Creek. You're about to see. Back in town, they moved as far as Talon's condition allowed, weaving through the trees until the woods gave way to the edge of Hollow Creek. Robin's pulse quickened. Village streets were filled with panic. People ran from home, shouting, crying. Smoke curled from a house down the street where lanterns had been knocked over. A pickup truck lay overturned against a mailbox. A street lamp flickered violently, buzzing like it was about to explode. Robin's breath hitched. Talon whispered weakly, Rob, everything's coming undone. A woman, maybe in her 40s, ran toward them, eyes wide with terror. She spotted Robin and skidded to a stop. It's your fault, she screamed. You broke it! You broke the binding! Robin tightened her jaw. Your town has been sacrificing innocent people for generations. I ended that. The woman shook her head violently. You don't understand. The creature kept the sickness away. The land here, it's cursed. It's always been cursed. Robin exchanged a tense look with Willa. Before she could respond, another scream tore down the street. A man staggered from a nearby house, clutching his head. His nose bled. His eyes were red and watery. He collapsed onto the snowy road, convulsing. Robin lunged forward, but Willa grabbed her. Don't touch him! The man jerked, gasping. It's inside. It's inside. It's... His body went rigid. Then he fell still. Robin's stomach dropped. What was that? Willa shook her head. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that in life. Villagers gathered around the man, some sobbing, some backing away in horror. Did the curse come back? Is the land collapsing? Someone! Do something! It shouldn't be this fast. Where's Elias? Robin's breath caught. Elias. Dead. Devoured. The town didn't know yet, Willa whispered. Without him, there's no leadership. Just fear. A loud crack echoed from Main Street. Robin turned sharply. The paved road was splitting down the center, like the earth itself was tearing open. Talon whispered hoarsely, Rob, the land was held together by the ritual, by cycles, by rules. Breaking it might have released everything it was holding back. Robin's heart raced. What kind of things? Well, his voice was barely audible. All the things the creature swallowed? Robin stiffened. A cold rush swept up her spine. What? She whispered. Willis stared at the cracked earth, voice trembling. The creature didn't just feed. It contained corruption, poison, rot, disease, old magic, old curses. It digested them, kept them stilled. Robin's stomach turned. And when it died, Willa nodded slowly. All of that was released back in Hollow Creek. They reached the town square, and Robin stopped cold. Dozens of people lay in the snow, some unconscious, some writhing, some gasping in pain. Steam rose from the vents under the sidewalks. Electricity flickered in the lamps. Children cried. Dogs howled. Will screamed. It was chaos. Robin's heart clenched painfully. He didn't want to feel responsible, but the truth was undeniable. She saved her brother. She ended murder. She ended the suffering, but she also unleashed something older, something deeper. Talon, she whispered. Can we fix it? Talon leaned against a tree, breathing shallowly. Rob, I never saw this part of the ritual. The documents, you never understood the full picture. Lola looked around helplessly. Binding was cruel, but it held back something worse. Robin's jaw tightened. Still fix this. We just need to know what we're fighting. As if to answer her, a deep, guttural roar thundered across the town. Everyone froze. Willa's face strained of color. Oh no. Robin stared at her. What now? Willa pointed down Main Street. Something moved between the houses. Something huge. Robin's pulse spiked. The creature is dead. I saw it die. No, Willa whispered. Not it. Something else. Something the creature was keeping locked beneath the creek. Robin's blood ran cold. The rumble grew louder. Windows rattled. Signs shook. Icicles dropped in a cascade. Robin pulled Talon behind her. If it's coming here, we need weapons. Willa shook her head. Weapons won't matter. The creature was the guardian and the jailer. What is it then? Robin snapped. What is coming? Willa swallowed hard. The corruption the creature swallowed over a century, everything it took in, she pointed at a collapsing building. It's now free. A low, monstrous shape slithered into view. Not as tall as the creature had been, but wider, heavier, a rolling mass of tendrils, bones, moss, twisted roots, and debris. Like the worst parts of the land had fused themselves into something new, something wrong. Fawn whispered weakly. It's the rot. Robin stared at him. Rot? The land here, Talon breathed. It was rotten long before the settlers came. The creature consumed the rot every year. But now, the monstrous shape roared again. Robin stiffened. Now the rot is hungry. People screamed as the rot creature barreled down Main Street. Cars toppled, storefronts shattered, snow flew. Robin ducked with Willa and Talon behind an overturned bench. The creature slammed into the light post beside them, sending sparks flying. Willa shouted over the noise. Binding held it back all these years. Breaking it released the rock. But maybe we can trap it again? Robin Hart hammered. How? Well, Willa's eyes widened with realization. The spiral symbol! It wasn't just the bond, it was the container. The ritual geometry. If we recreate it again. Robin grabbed her shoulders. We can trap the rod again. Willa nodded. Yes, but we need space and we need time. Talon weakly pointed toward the community center. It's the biggest open floor in town. The feast hall. Robin's jaw set. We're going. They sprinted, dragged, stumbled, limped across town as the rock creature tore through the buildings behind them. Robin and Willa carried Talon up the community center steps. Inside, the feast hall was empty. Long tables sat with decorations and food that now felt obscene. Robin dropped to her knees, ripping open Talon's envelope. The spiral with the ritual mark. Spiral, Robin whispered. It has to match this exactly. Willow nodded, grabbing markers, paint, even spilled wine, anything to draw with. Robin overturned the tables, clearing the wide wooden floor. The building shook violently. Talon gasped. It's coming! Robin sketched the first arc. Willa mirrored her on the opposite side. They worked in frantic sync, drawing the jagged spiral dozens of feet across the floor. The creature slammed into the wall outside. Faster! Wood splintered, glass shattered, lights flickered. Faster! Robin shouted. Willa's hand flew, drawing as fast as she could. Talon coughed hard, blood flecking his lips. Rob, you'll have to lure it into the center. Robin froze. Absolutely not! You have to, Talon rasped. It wants someone. If it senses you, Robin shook her head violently. No, Willow whispered. Robin? He's right, Robinson's fist shaking. I'm not letting it take me. Helen grabbed her sleeve, voice cracking. You won't. You just need to get it to step inside the spiral. When it does, Willow finished for him. We sell it. Forever. Robin's breath shook. The building shook harder. Then the wall exploded inward. Snow plastered across the room in a shock wave. The rock creature oozed inside. Massive, pulsing tendrils dripping with black slime. Robin's eyes locked with it. Smelled like rock, wet leaves, graves, and years of trapped decay. It saw her. A roar shook the rafters. Robin's heartbeat steadied into focus. Talon, she whispered, I love you. Talon's breath hitched. Will grab your hand. You can do this. Talon stepped forward, toward the creature, toward death, toward the sentinel spiral. Hey! She screamed. Come get me, you rotten bastard! The creature surged. Robin sprinted into the center of the spiral as the raw creature lunged forward, crashing over tables and tearing banners from the ceiling. A tendril slashed out. One struck her across the shoulder, throwing her off her feet. Pain shot through her body. Robin! Willa screamed. Robin staggered upright, dizzy, bleeding. Come on! She roared, voice cracking. Come take me! The creature lunged again. It crossed the spiral's boundary. The floor glowed. The symbols lit up. Energy surged through the hall. Willa raised her hands and screamed, Now! She dragged a final line across the spiral, closing it. The floor pulsed. The rock creature recoiled, shrinking. Tendrils lashed wildly. One wrapped around Robin's ankle. It yanked her hard. Robin screamed as she was dragged towards his maw. Robin! Willow shrieked. Hold on! Robin dug her nose into the floor, kicking wildly. A tendril coiled tighter. Cracks ripped up the creature's body. Its bile was collapsing it inward. The creature shrieked in agony as its mass began to implode, sucked toward the spiral center. It dragged Robin closer, closer. She felt its breath, hot, fungal, rancid, on her skin. Its tendrils wrapped up her calf, and suddenly, talons slammed into her, knocking her sideways. The tendril missed. Talons shouted, Go! And the creature collapsed inward, screaming, crashing in on itself until finally it vanished. The hall went silent. Robin lay on the floor, shaken. Talon collapsed beside her. Willa sobbing with relief. The rot was gone. The curse was broken, for good. Hours later, the sirens wailed. Outside help arrived. State police, ambulances, emergency crews. Hollow Creek was declared a disaster zone. People were treated, stabilized, sent to hospitals. Reports spoke of gas leaks, sinkholes, contaminated water, structural failures. No one mentioned a creature, or a ritual, or rot, and no one would believe it anyway. Robin stayed beside Talon at the ambulance. He squeezed her hand weakly. Rob, did we do the right thing? Robin looked at the ruins of Hollow Creek. The broken binding freed townspeople to end a century sacrifice. Yes, she whispered. We did. Willow approached, bandaged and exhausted. The rot is gone, she said. The land will heal. The town will too, she paused. But it will take time. Robin nodded. It will, she said, but no more sacrifices. No more monsters. Willow smiled faintly. You saved us. All of us. Robin meets her eyes. Let's hope the town remembers that. For the first time in generations, Hollow Creek took a breath without a monster beneath it. Robin held her brother close as the sun set. A real sunset, unbound by ritual, unshadowed by horror. Thanksgiving lights flickered in the distance. And Robin whispered, It's finally over. Thank you for spending part of your evening with Stories at Night. I hope tonight's tale took you somewhere new. Maybe it made you smile, stirred a memory, or sent a pleasant chill down your spine. These stories remind us that even when the world grows quiet, imagination stays wide awake, whispering, laughing, and dreaming right alongside us. New stories arrive here 2 times a week, each one a little different, each one its own escape. So when you're ready to unwind again, come back, get cozy, and let the next story take you away. Until then, rest well, dream deeply, and keep listening to Stories at Night.